Hi guys, today we're going to be studying singular possessive nouns and plural possessive nouns. Today is February 9th and this is being recorded. So first, let's study singular possessive nouns. One of the ways you can use nouns in your sentences is to show ownership. Who owns what? A noun that shows ownership is called a possessive noun. We can have singular, oral, or we can have plural possessive nouns. A singular possessive noun shows that one person, place, or thing owns something. Form the possessive of a singular noun by adding apostrophe and letter S. Let's see some examples. Instead of saying, for example, the home of Mr. Stein, if we read this, we can see that the owner is Mr. Stein. So this is the noun that we're going to turn into a possessive noun. So we add apostrophe and S to Mr. Stein, and we say Mr. Stein's home. Okay. If we have to say, for example, the land of the farmer, here the owner is the farmer. The farmer owns the land. It's not the land that owns the farmer. So farmer is the noun to which we are going to add apostrophe and S, and we say the farmer's land. In the case of the hobbies of the student, here the owner is the student. He owns the hobbies. So we are going to add apostrophe and S to student, and we will say the student's hobbies. So to form singular possessive nouns, we only add apostrophe and S in all cases, okay? Now let's see some examples, additional examples. Tell the possessive form for each singular noun. Nail, as a proper noun, we add apostrophe and S, and we will have nails. For painter, a common noun, we add apostrophe and S because painter is singular, is one painter. We have painters. Child, we add an apostrophe and S, and we will have childs. Clerk, we add apostrophe and S, we have clerks. And for horse, we add apostrophe and S, and we will say horses. Now let's see how to construct the possessive form of the plural nouns. A plural noun that shows ownership in this case is called a plural possessive noun. Form the plural of a possessive noun that ends in S by adding an apostrophe, just the apostrophe. But if the plural noun does not end in S, you will add the apostrophe and the S. So we have one of two ways to proceed here. If the noun ends in S, we only add the apostrophe. If the noun ends in a letter that it's not an S, we add apostrophe and S. So let's see. In the case of, we want to say, for example, the dresses of the girls, okay? Here the owner who is who? The girls. The girls own the dresses, right? So we're going to turn girls into possessive, and the noun girls is plural and ends in an S. So we will only add an apostrophe and we will say the girls' dresses. If you want to say the tools of the gardeners, in this case, the owners are the gardeners. The gardeners own the tools, not the tools, the gardeners. So we will add, since this plural noun ends in S, we will only add an apostrophe, the gardener's tools. Now let's see the last one, the clothes of the children. This is a plural noun, but this plural noun does not end in S. So we will add apostrophe and S, and we will say the children's clothes. Okay. Let's see another list of examples. Men, it's a plural noun. it ends in N, not an S, so we will add apostrophe and S, men's. Workers is also plural, it ends in S, so we will only add an apostrophe, workers, like this. Adults, it's also plural, it ends in S, we will only add the apostrophe, adults. Women, it's plural, it ends in letter N, not S, so we will add apostrophe and S, women's. And boys is also plural, it ends with an S, so we only add the apostrophe, boys. More examples. And these are examples similar to the ones that you're going to be looking at on your homework. Write the singular possessive form of each noun. President, presidents. We add apostrophe and S. Always when we're trying to form the possessive of a singular noun, we will be adding apostrophe and S. So these ones are very, very simple. Artist, artists with apostrophe S. Driver, drivers with apostrophe S. Baker, bakers with apostrophe S. Man, mans, apostrophe S. Sculpture, sculptures, apostrophe S. Gardener, gardeners, apostrophe S. And lion, lions, adding apostrophe S. You see, very simple for singular possessive nouns. Now let's see this exercise. Write the plural form for each noun. Then indicate the plural possessive form of the noun. So first we have to put the noun in plural. And after that we will create the possessive form, okay? For example, if we have goose, the plural is geese. And since this does not end on an S, we need to add apostrophe and S. Geeses will be the possessive of the plural noun. So the number one, child, the plural is children, and the possessive for children is children's. We add apostrophe and S since the plural ends in letter N, which is not an S. Number two, doctor. Doctors is the plural, and doctors apostrophe, only the apostrophe we are adding to form the possessive. Lawyer, the plural is lawyers, and since it ends with an S, we only add an apostrophe, lawyers, to create the possessive. Farmer, farmers is the plural, and we add an apostrophe, we have the possessive form, farmers. Engineer, engineers is the plural, and to form the possessive, we only add an apostrophe because engineers ends with letter S. Kitten, we have kittens, okay, as the plural, and ends with an S, so we only add an apostrophe, kittens. Horse, plural is horses, and the possessive is horses with the apostrophe only. And the last one, mother, we have mothers as the plural, and mothers with apostrophe for the possessive, plural possessive form. Now we have this different type of exercise. It says, change the words in parentheses to include the singular possessive form of the underlined noun. We have an expression inside the parentheses, and we have a noun that is underlined, so we need to form the possessive. In this case, for example, sentence number one, it says, the sculptures of Jenny Grove. Jenny Grove is the owner here, so we have to turn this noun into a possessive form. So we will add apostrophe S, and we will say, Jenny Grove's sculptures, this is what it substitutes what it's inside the parentheses, are wonderful. Number two, the lions of Jenny are majestic. In this case, we have underlined Jenny, so we will say Jenny's lions are majestic. Okay, Jenny's lions are majestic. Number three, the birds of the sculpture, inside parentheses, are graceful. Sculpture is underlined, so this is the owner. Sculptures, apostrophe S in this case. The sculpture's birds are graceful. The work of the artist delights people. We have underlined the word artist. So we will say the artist's work delights people. Okay, and we add apostrophe s. We're adding apostrophe s in all these cases because we're forming singular possessive forms, okay? So it's always apostrophe and s. Number 5, there is always a visitor in, and then we have the parentheses, the studio of Jenny. So the studio of Jenny would be replaced by Jenny's studio. So we will say there is always a visitor in Jenny's studio. Number 6, the friend of my father, inside parentheses, but a seal and a dove. So the friend of my father will be replaced by my father's friend, like this, my father's friend, but a seal and a dove. And number 7, the wings of the dove are opened wide. The wings of the dove will be replaced by the dove's wings are opened wide. And dove, we will add apostrophe s to make it possessive. Now change the words in parentheses to the plural possessive form. So here we have to be careful to see if the noun, first we have to see which one is the noun, okay? Because here we don't have any word underlined. And once we find out which one is the noun that we need to turn into possessive, we will evaluate if it has an s or not at the end, and depending on that, we will add only apostrophe or apostrophe s. So number 1, the gardens belonging to the neighbors are beautiful. We have inside parentheses the gardens belonging to the neighbors. So neighbors are the owners, right? So we need to turn neighbors into possessive. And since it ends in a letter S, we will add an apostrophe. So we will say the neighbors' gardens are beautiful, like this. Number 2, the children of the gardeners, inside parentheses, help with the work. It would be the gardener's children, and gardeners with only an apostrophe because it ends with an S. We will have the gardener's children help with the work, like this. The gardener's children help with the work. And number 3, every spring, then we have parentheses, the work of the gardeners, close parentheses, begin. So the work of the gardeners will be the gardener's work. And gardeners, in this case, we have only an apostrophe added. So every spring, the gardener's work begins. Number 4, the goal of the people is the improvement of the area. The goal of the people is the expression we need to change. The owner is the people. So since this is a plural form that does not end in s, we add apostrophe and s, and we will say the people's goal is the improvement of the area, like this, okay? Number 5, the job of the young children is done after school. The job of the young children are the owners here, so it would be the young children's job is done after school. And we will add apostrophe and s because children, which is the plural noun, ends in n, which is not an s, okay? Number 6, vegetable seeds are planted in the gardens of the neighbors. So here the owners are the neighbors, right? So neighbors ends in s, we will only add an apostrophe and we will say vegetable seeds are planted in the neighbors' gardens, okay? And number 7, the labor of the workers will be rewarded. The labor of the workers will be replaced by the workers' labor, okay? Workers is the possessive noun with only an apostrophe because the plural ended in s, and will be rewarded. Okay, guys, so remember, form the possessive of a singular noun always by adding an apostrophe and s. But if you have a to form the possessive of a plural noun, you have to see the ending. If it ends in S, you only add an apostrophe. If it doesn't end in S, you add apostrophe and S. It's simple to remember. Okay, so now you will go to your Google form and work on it. Thank you very much, and see you next week.